So without further ado, the Buffalo Bills coming off a 31-7 victory on Sunday at HighMark Stadium against the Denver Broncos. I'm not going to call it a surprising victory because, once again, we talked about this for weeks and weeks and weeks that I'm not over-consuming NFL analysis. I'm not doing the Friday morning football frenzy, the Monday morning quarterback, the Tuesday morning quarterback, the Thursday, whatever. I'm not doing all the over-analysis. So I went into this game confident the Bills were going to win. The Bills, sure enough, won. Connor, how was your experience at the stadium on Sunday?
It was great. Got tickets last minute, went with my cousin. Shout out to all the fans in Section 145 that were keeping it rocking during the game. Denver came in with the number 2 ranked defense, and I thought, although we started off a little slow on offense, we controlled the tempo. We possessed the ball really well. James Cook had a great day. Josh did his thing in the playoffs, turnover free, 2 touchdowns. And if this Bills offense keeps scoring 30-plus a game, we're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I was a little annoyed. Normally, the entrance to the stadium is no problem. Normally, I don't have an issue at all. We parked on Sheldon on Sunday, started walking up at noon. Didn't get into the stadium until about 1 o'clock. As we were walking in, the flyover was taking place. As we're waiting in line for the bathroom, Kyle Williams is doing his spiel. As we're leaving the bathroom and walking to our seats in Section 135, Broncos up 6-0. At that point in time, I heard the negativity surrounding me, the gasp in the concourse. I'm not sure if that was the smell of the fryers. People were succumbing to that, or if it was a frustration of giving up an early score. I had no doubt. I was never gripping, never worried at all. We talked about this week after week after week. This is a second half team. A lot of people will criticize them because of that, but once they get rolling, you can't stop them. And that whole missed field goal at the end of the first half by the Broncos seemed to have propelled the Bills to that victory.
Yeah, going into the game at halftime, if they would have made that, it would have been tied. But the Bills were receiving at half, so you still felt good. But the missed field goal, and ultimately when Josh had that 4th-and-1 Superman play to Ty Johnson for the touchdown, we got the 2-point conversion. I was comfortable. I thought it was over.
And I am never the type of person that will blame the officials for the loss of a game, for the loss of a play. But God, there has got to be some sort of... They disrupt the pace and the tone of the game so easily. 9 times out of 10, any NFL play can be a penalty, some way, shape, or form. But they seem to find the ideal times to rattle off 2, rattle off 3 penalties. I know there was something on the sideline where the referee came up to Josh, patted him on the helmet, said something to him about... They thought it might have been somebody that initially thought it was because of a missed call in the end zone. And then it was later said that Josh was giving the referee a lot of lip, giving him the business. So maybe he told him to calm down. But I'm so sick of watching games that like penalty after penalty after penalty and just destroying the flow of the entire game.
Yeah, it definitely can happen like that. And listen, I like Josh speaking up for his team. John at the ref, so to speak. You gotta, if you see a penalty, you don't think something's getting called, you got to say something. There was a blatant hold that Patrick Surtain had in the end zone that wasn't called. You're going to have mistakes by the officials, but you got to keep them on alert so that you get the calls when you need to.
Yeah, I mean, for lack of a better term, you don't want to bully them. I know that word gets thrown around a lot in this era, in this generation. But, yeah, you have to say something. You have to let it be known that, hey, we know that's not proper. I would rather have McDermott step up and not have Josh risk anything, a penalty or even, a stern warning or whatever the NFL would do. But, I mean, they got to stop ruining the flow of the game with these penalties because it just gets to the point where it's like it's a joke. What was it, the Jets Monday night game where – that one drive, it's like every play was a penalty. Like you can't do that. You can't do that. You're turning off the fans, and you're making the league look foolish.
Yeah, it kind of hurts the product on the field, and NFL wants to see scoring. They want to see big plays, and when you're negating all these with penalties, it definitely sucks.
And I would like to see the announcers point more attention to that and like put more focus on that. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe let's rein it in. We all have a job to do here. Right now, your job wearing that hat is interfering with my job up here, who people are tuning in to listen to. They're not there to hear from referees. They don't want to hear the referees or see the referees get their FaceTime, get themselves on TV as much as possible. I know we've joked around in the past about the Hockey League father and son going on camera, flexing. Other referees are, try to get that FaceTime, whether they're trying to set up for a career in acting after they're done officiating or whatever. It's just got to stop, and that's just one of my main bugaboos about the game from Sunday.